quick. All right, Mastermind, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. We are thrilled and excited to have the one, the only, the incomparable, the amazing. I don't know. What other adjectives can I use, Jill? Jill Renfro, which, by the way, if you ever want to meet Jesus, all you have to go is go see Jill because she lives right next to him there in College Station, Texas, home of Texas A&M. And so,
Mhm.
for those who didn't know, that's where my wife and I went to school. And so, only good people. If you want to go diamond, move to College Station, all the things. Actually, don't move to College Station. She doesn't need any competition down there. So just leave, stay where you're at. But no, we are really excited to have Jill's Diamond Ambassador, Jill Renfro. She has an amazing story. Um, I love her content, especially when she involves her husband in her content. It just makes me feel like, okay, Cassie's not the only one who likes to poke the bear every once in a while. So that makes me laugh. But whenever I run into somebody in Plexus and they're kind of new to this, or they want to know how to grow or how to show up on social media, I'm like, gotta go follow Jill Renfro. She's amazing. So, Jill, thank you so much for being with our mastermind group tonight. Really appreciate you. And I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the over
I am
to
so
you.
excited. I'm so excited. I'm so honored. Y'all get me. I'm fresh out of the shower. I washed my hair. It's hair washing day, but I literally melted today all day long. I couldn't smell myself any longer. Anything that had to do with summer, we like did it. We did been there, done that, did that. We were at the splash pad. We were at the park. We were outside. We had swimming lessons. Then we came home, swim in our pool. And I was like, okay. So I was like, we're done for. I couldn't sit 30 more minutes on this call and smell myself any longer. So y'all get me fresh out of the shower. Sorry if we have an underwear 3-year-old come in. I bribed him with how to watch. He's watching How to Train Your Dragon. So we'll see how long that goes. I don't know, Kyle, why y'all do this, but all of the time, you tell your husband, hey, I got this at 7. And all of a sudden he's cleaning the garage. And you're like,
Oh
what
yeah.
is it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course.
Like, hey, company's coming over and he's painting the fence. And you're like, what in the world? I'm skinning a deer. And you're like, they'll be here in 5 minutes. So anyways, he'll hopefully the toddler will stay there for a minute, but I'm as real gets and just want to share that with y'all because I hope that you show up as real for this. And Zoom etiquette, I always tell my team, okay, so I'm gonna treat y'all like I talk to my team. Unless you're naked in the bathtub, put your camera on. Okay. If you're on a treadmill, fantastic. I want to see you working out. If you're folding laundry, great. If you have a baby climbing on your face, I love it so much. I told you he would come. Here we go. Hi, bub. Come here real quick. What do you need? You want to help me? Okay, well, mommy's gonna go do this. You need to go watch your movie, okay? Where's dad? Oh, I hear him. Go find him. Fantastic. Where is your father? Right? Isn't that like the story of your life? You're like, where is your daddy? Underwear and all. There you go. Ta-da. So real life as it gets, I want you to show up as that too. And I love that so much in what we get to do in this industry because I truly feel that that is what creates our success. And this is people see the realness of who we are. And I love to follow lots of wonderful people who are so much smarter than I ever could be. And all the design aspect and I don't even know how to spell the word aesthetic, whatever that is. But, whatever that is, I think that that's great. But I just don't think it's real. I think it's pretty, right? But I just don't think it's real. And I truly feel like one of the main reasons that I've had the success that I have had is because I have brought in people into a real life journey of me. You're going to get me in no makeup 99% of the time. You're going to get me in exactly who I am. You're not going to get the best angle. You're not going to get everything set up. Like you're just not. And so I want to encourage that with you, regardless of where you are. I share this with my team often. Standing in your confidence is beautiful. It really, really is. Okay. So I don't mean to butcher anything. I'm not trying to offend anybody. If you know anything about me, I tend to step on toes. But I just want to, body confidence. Let's talk about it for a second. I'll relate all this back to we'll land the plane, I promise. But body confidence, right? I think it is so attractive when you see a gal who's like, size 12, size 14, size 18, and she's rocking her bikini at the beach. I love it. I'm like, heck yeah, because I grew up in a time when that wasn't the case. Like you're not doing that if you're not a stick figure, But I love that somebody can stand in their confidence and say, this is who I am, and I'm going to strut it. But I want you to realize this. Some of you might be this person. I've been this person in years before too. And I want you to recognize this person. You're at the pool, you're at the beach, and this girl is just standing in her confidence. She's carrying on a conversation, she's doing her things, right? Or you have another girl who similar size and she's pulling her shirt down and she's hiding with a towel and she's sitting like this. We've all seen that or we've been there, right? And it's honestly drawing more attention to how uncomfortable she is in a setting. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, right? The fidgeting, the uncomfortable, than towards the girl who's just standing in their confidence being like, here I am, and this is who I am, right? And so I feel like that often in our business, we see people come and go, and y'all know, you've been here. You see more people go than come. Lord help them, right? In and out, all the things. And I truly think I'm like, if somebody just would stand in their confidence of who they were supposed to be and who God called them to be, instead of looking to the left and looking to the right and comparing themselves to their old self in a former season or comparing to somebody else in what they're doing, right? And just owned who they are and got firmly planted in that, I think we'd see a lot more people stay. I don't know. I think that all the time. So if you don't know too much about me, backstory, I was a third grade reading and writing teacher here in College Station, Texas, which is a pretty fabulous place. I am born and raised from here, never left, said I'm not leaving. My husband was a traveling welder in the pipeline, and when he traveled through town, we met at a bar. And yeah, I said, listen, if this is going to work out, I told him I was going to marry him night two. I mean, this, y'all can see how this is going. And I was like, if this is going to work out, you're going to have to find yourself back to College Station because I'm not going anywhere. That's how much this place, I love it so much. And it means to me. We live on a family compound. My neighbor right here is my sister and brother-in-law and her two kids, and we share this huge family compound. And so it's really cool to do family super close. We have big boundaries, so nobody's like all up in your space and everything. So it's great. It works beautiful for us. But I built my business while I was full-time teaching. Third grade in the state of Texas is our state standardized start year, which is the first year that they take the state exam, which is absolutely ridiculous if y'all know anything about education. But it's a heavy loaded year for third graders. It is. There's a lot of weight on you. I'm someone, background about me, I always say, I'm like, if my job is to clean the toilet that night at the restaurant, it's going to be clean. I bartended and waited tables all through college. If I'm responsible for X, Y, and Z, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. If my name is on that closeout sheet, I'm going to give it my all. Like, that's just who I am. So, curse in that, here I am a teacher. I am UIL teacher, Saturday school teacher, mentor teacher, cheer sponsor. I'm doing all the things. My hands in a lot of buckets. And I took pride in that and I owned it. Stood in my confidence, and I did my job really well. I loved teaching when I was teaching. I'm so thankful I'm not teaching anymore, but I know that I was supposed to be in that classroom for that season for a reason. I was supposed to meet certain families and for certain children, and I'm super blessed by that. But I took on a lot, and then here we have Plexus falling into my lap. And so oftentimes, I don't know if y'all run into this too, you get people who are working full-time jobs, or you currently, if anybody here is working a full-time job, put in the chat if you're working a full-time job. And so we get that hesitant and like pushback of like, well, I've got this prior engagement and I'm working and I'm not sure. And I get that. I built my business. I was a solid sapphire. I was sapphire and a half, basically, when I left the classroom. So I was senior sapphire, if that was a thing, right? And before I decided, you know what, I'm not going to renew my contract, because at that time, I give it my all. I am not someone who's going to quit a contract mid-year. I'm going to fulfill my year with my students, my term. So at that point in time, I'm like, well, here I am, senior sapphire. Maybe I will leave and figure this out. But all that to say, I know what it's like to build a business while you're also working a full-time job. And it wasn't just 40 hours for me. It was a lot more outside of that, a lot of extracurriculars and things. So I get that. And I want you to understand that about me, because I know that when people see me today, we see chapter 40. We see, oh, she's home, right? You see the diamond, oh, they're home. You see the sapphire, oh, that looks easy, right? We don't see the chapter 1. We don't see the grit. We don't see the elbow grease. We don't see the knit and gritty. We don't see that. We see today, 10 years later, 11 years later, 9 years later for some, right? And we're like, ah, I could just get to. We're comparing our chapter 5 to their volume 3, season 7, whatever. I mean, like at this point in time, I could have been like a freaking series on Netflix. They'd have canceled me and signed me back up, I guess, But anyways, I understand that. And I just want you to know that there's realness to this too. But for me, we each have our own why, we each have our own vision with that. I held on to mine so tight. And I often share this with my team when I'm doing some coaching. And it's hard to explain. I haven't located the word yet, but this is all I kind of know how to say. It's almost like I held onto my vision almost with anger. And it's weird to say the word anger. I still have it. It's passion, but it's not quite passion. I'm still been like, Lord, give me the word for this. Because it was almost like, no, you don't hear me. Get out of my way. I'm going to do this. Like it was that type of conviction, that type of passion where there was a little bit of like, a little bit of sass, a little bit of like, get out of my way. If somebody told me no, I'm like, great, good for you, moving on because I'm on to a yes. It was almost that type of passion and anger to where I was like, great, you don't believe in me? I don't need you to. That's fine. Please move, exit, like moving on, like get out of my way. Because I feel this so deep in my soul that I know I'm supposed to be here. I know that I need to stay so firmly planted that it's not going to make sense to others. And we all probably have been in those seasons in our business and personal life to where we can't explain the passion, the faith, the drive, the desire in our heart to somebody. They don't understand. It's like me telling my husband night two, I'm going to marry you. He's like, what? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'm like, we're going to get married. I know it. I know it. I'm going to sound like a crazy person. I had just gotten out of engagement of another guy. No, I'm not that kind of girl. Like, it wasn't like going around. Like, I'm just telling you, like, that's how much that wasn't supposed to be happening. And when I met this guy, I'm like, whoa, I know exactly why that wedding was called off. And so it was that type of and you can't explain it until you walk in. I don't know if you've ever walked in somewhere and you're like, something's different in this atmosphere. Something's different. I don't know. I felt that way about Plexus, and I still do to this day. And some of you might be saying right now, well, Jill, I don't feel that. I don't have that desire. I don't have that I'm going to encourage you to peel those layers back. And what I often do with my team is a 3 and 4 why. And I say, why do you want this? We need the money. Why? We're in so much debt, and my husband's working 2 jobs. Okay. Why are you in so much debt? Well, we were, I don't know, done with our money and we had to, and I grew up in poverty and it's all that I knew. Why is that important to you? I don't want my kids to do that. And I want to break generational curses. Okay. Why is that important to you? I just keep going, why? Why? So if you're stuck on that for you, I want you to peel back that why until you're going, oh, Lord, this is where somebody sits in the counselor's couch. Got it. Okay, no, whoa, this is a lot more than me going, because I want to get my daughter that prom dress. Why? Because I didn't get to go to prom. Why? I had to have a full-time job and had to miss my senior prom. Why? Because we were on government assistance and my parents got divorced. Why? Right? You keep going back and you're like, whoa, this is so much deeper than us just having some extra income or us just doing this vacation thing. So if you haven't located that, I want you to first find that for yourself, because everyone on this call is goldish to Jewel, right? Gold to Jewel. So you've been here. You know how to sign somebody. You know how to post on social media. You know the steps to do. Truly, we do. And skill set is something that, I mean, I don't want to like poo-poo on it, but it's entry level stuff to where, guys, we can learn skill set. We can get on social media. You can hire a virtual assistant. You can copy the graphics that Cassie's doing. We can do all that. Like, that's not that. There are groups I'm paying for people for, like, make that graphic for me. That sounds great. $4.99 a month. Sign me up, because I'm not spending my time doing that, right? But you know what? I can't just go get $4.99 a month for. You know what? I can't just go snag and steal. My why, my vision, my mindset, my belief, my passion. I can't screenshot that off somebody's story and say, oh, great, thanks for making that for me. It doesn't exist, right? So here we are in this position, gold to Jewel. We should be spending some large amounts of time plugged into the source to where it's fueling us and we're excited and we're finding that drive and that momentum and we're filling our cup, because oftentimes you find yourself as the teacher pouring to others, and you're like, all right, you got to get something poured into you. You have to. So we often become lazy. Truly, I see this in my team. Everything I'm talking about to y'all, I talk about to my team all the time. And these are things that I notice within my team. I notice that we become lazy, almost like, oh, I'm Ruby, like, of course I'll rebuild, or that girl will come back, or, oh, 4 years ago it was like this, it'll happen. We get really lazy. And it's almost like we get in a position of expecting it to just happen, right? I'm not talking about, expect a miracle, get in this expecting mindset. No, no. We get into this position of like, oh, I mean, it'll flow. Like there'll be a bigger month, or this month was a wash, and like she'll cycle back. We make up these excuses, truly, of laziness, when really we're blocking so much growth. Like we're blocking so much growth. I often think of it like dating versus marriage. I don't even know the number that could be. My husband and I have been married 13 years, but I know when we first started dating, he didn't poop with the door open, like he was, doing some things that was a little bit more romantic than he is now, things like that. I don't know if y'all can relate to that, right? We all have these things. You get comfortable, right? You're not talking about your hemorrhoids. You're not talking about, hey, can you check what's happening back here? I got a growth. Like, you're not talking about those things in the beginning of your relationship. Maybe you are, we weren't, right? But somewhere along the way, praise God, we get comfortable, right? We get relaxed, we get a little lazy. That's why they say you got to date your spouse. You got to pour into it. You got to make it disciplined. You got to block out that time, because if not, you look up and you're like, whoa, what are we doing here? Like, any romance, anything happening? Where are we at? Right? You have to do that. Why do we do that? To keep that so driven and passionate and as a priority. So let's relate that back to business. In the beginning of your business, you were so excited. You weren't pooping with the door open. You were so excited. You were showing up. You were plugging in. You were watching Diamond documentaries like it was the new season out on whatever that they just dropped on Netflix or Hulu. You were like, oh my God, I haven't seen hers yet. Yes, right? Totally in. That inspires me. And I want to ask you, when's the last one you watched? Truly. We get a little lazy. When's the last one where you're like, you know what? I probably haven't watched one in months. I need to go feel that again. I need to imagine that camera crew is in my freaking house videoing my baby saying, I love you, Mom, you're a diamond. Y'all have all seen that happen and you're like, I can't handle it. They brought the dog in, like, I can't handle it. We're out. Like, oh man, when they bring Coco in, I'm just going to die. Like, you already know, right? I know this because I'm telling you, I feel this. I know this. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to wear a dress. And like, we're going to get diamond cookies made that day. And I'm going to invite my team over. You already know. But we get lazy and we put it on the back and we think that's a one-off thing. Maybe that'll happen to me one day. I don't know. It's like a wish, truly. So we've got to plug into the source, just like we will with our phone. If our phone's in the red zone, I say this to my team all the time. They could probably just like quote it. They're like, there Jill goes again with talking about our phone in the red zone. If your phone is in the red zone, what are you going to do? Every single one of you hussies, I don't know if I can say this thing else called, every single one of y'all would say, I need to go get a charger. Every single one of you. And you, I need to go get a charger. You got a charger? I need to go get a charger. Oh my God. We can't go on the road trip. I need a charger. And if you forgot the charger, what would you do? You go to 7-Eleven and buy one. You go to Sam's, you go to Walmart, you go to Target, you DoorDash one to your hotel room. You would. You'd Instacart it. Every single one of us. Why? Because we want to be in the green zone. We want to be charged. But what do we do to ourselves? We're just in this red zone all day long. Ain't nobody pulling over or DoorDashing for a charger. And you're thinking, well, it'll just happen. We'll just get there. I'll just stumble back into the green zone. I'll just stumble back into that success, because 2 years ago, I was super successful and I did have that dream teamer come in and we were rocking. I might offend you right now. We're going to let her sit on that bench and be. I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. I don't think she's coming back. I don't. I really don't. I hope she does. And I think that that's fantastic. And when she does, we're going to just two arms open and say, come on in, girl. The water's fine. We've been waiting for you. We got a seat right here for you. But we're not going to wait until that happens, right? So here we are in this red zone. We don't have a lot of new. We don't have a lot of fresh. We don't have, heavens to Betsy, we don't have a lot of fun happening. We don't have a lot of like oomph and sparkle because we got lazy. We're now in this like long-term marriage that's not prioritizing the intimacy and conversation and touch and words and acts of service, all these things that we're like, we got to do, right? Why? To keep it fresh. So here you are in your business, been here 11 years. Kyle and Cassie, about 10, right? I think so, about a decade. We've kind of grown up in this together. So a lot of us have been here for a long time. You could have been here at that time. If they've been here 10 years, some of you might be 9, 8, 7, 5, 3, whatever. You could have been. And after a while, things aren't as sexy. And truly, I was talking to somebody about this earlier today. I think there gets to a position we know too much. We know too much. We're in a world of social media where it's like we're just consuming content all day long, all day long. We're in Plexus, content all day long. Okay, what's one Plexus doing? What's the ambassador community doing? What's the Jewel page doing? What's the Ruby page doing? What are the golds saying? What's this group saying? Okay. But when the brand new in the beginning, you didn't even know that there was a group. You didn't even know that there was a thing. You're like, oh, y'all are talking in a chat? Oh, that sounds fun and exciting. Right? But now you're so consumed by every bit thing happening, you get lax, you get a little lazy. We're not prioritizing. We're in the red zone. We're spending our time where it doesn't need to be spent, and we're calling it work when truly it's like my mom. This is what happens when my mom comes to my house. I'm like, Mom, stop. She truly just takes a pile and she just moves the pile over here. I'm like, Mom, you're not cleaning. I don't need you to clean my house. That's not what I need. But she thinks she's helping. And I'm like, Mom, you just took the paper plates over here and just shuffled them over here to look like you're doing something. I'd rather you sit your butt down and just talk to my kid. Stop shuffling things around to look busy. Any of y'all some busybody people out there? I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? We do that in our work. I'm like, what are you doing well? I always love to ask that question to my team. What are you doing well? And they're like, it's like the most stumbling thing ever. I'm like, yeah, because you're doing 900 things at 2% and nothing's getting done at 100%. And it doesn't even need to be 100%. Let's just put 80 out there for heaven's sake, right? Because we're like a cat on a hot tin roof. We're like, okay, let me put it out. Let me put it out. These are probably a lot of Southern things I'm throwing at you. I'm sorry. You're like, what does that even mean? Right? But I want you to think about that. And you're like, heavens to Betsy, cat on a hot tin roof. Like, what is she talking about? Like, let me get the dictionary over here. But truly, we're like, okay, I got to make a graphic. Okay, she's got to get there. Okay, I'm going to hop in the chat. Okay, they told me this. Then I'm going to message back. Oh, she says I need to learn ChatGPT. Ooh, okay, they said I need to check out this book. Oh, Bob Heilig's going live. Okay, now we're talking about Eric Worre. Ooh, they said I need to join this group. Well, if I get over here, I'll get better on social media. And we're just like, and we've mastered nothing but true like FOMO, fear of missing out. And we're just being busy. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I have been in those seasons in my business. So if you haven't realized how real I am yet, I'm going to tell you exactly how real I am. Okay. When I built my business, woo-hoo, all the way to diamond, sapphire, senior sapphire to the classroom, out of the classroom. And then was doing great right there. Highest points were probably 58, 59. I was right there on that 6,000 reach for reentry. Woo, 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 woo. Had a lot of life hit us. We had a lot of loss. My son's a third round IVF baby after a lot of loss, a lot of a lot of trauma, a lot of things that like bulldozer Jill wasn't ready to slow down and process, right? Had a lot of things happen in my team, had a lot of things happen. I mean, all which ways. I look up and it feels like I just looked up, but I didn't. There was a lot of things, in time in between. And I was holding on to my business by a bag of active. Here's what I mean when I say that. I closed the month at 1503. I was one bag of active away from losing emerald when I was almost re-entry diamond. So had fallen from almost re-entry diamond, lost sapphire, and I was at 1503. That's a bag of active away from losing 3 jewel statuses. And I remember the conversation with my husband. I'm crying at the kitchen table. Can't even believe it. And he's a redneck. He's the sweetest man in the entire world. If you've ever seen King of the Hill, he's Boomhauer, like a little bit. And so anyways, he's like, his jaw doesn't necessarily move when he talks. And I have to translate quite often. But he's so supportive in Plexus, always has been right there. I don't have an active upline. There's nobody between me and 7 people up that I could go to and be like, hey, hi, you remember me? Like, I'm your level 7. And I don't, reach out to that or whatever. And I'm not bitter in that. I'm so thankful that that is my position. And I know it made me the leader that I was, but he gets the grunt of that. And he hears that and he understands that. And I'm in this moment and I'm like, 1503. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, if I don't retain every single order from this last month, like that, I've lost 3 jewel ranks. Like, how does this happen? Like, just suffocating, truly. And at that moment, it did feel easier to walk away. I had to build more points to get back to where I was than to just lose the 1503, right? You understand the math there? And it's like, what am I doing? And I just had this truly, probably one of the only times I have this breakdown moment in my business. And he said, if you want to walk away, I will walk away with you and we will hold our head high. And we're so blessed by what the Lord has done with this business for us. If that's what you want to do. And then Joe Renfro, bulldozer, I looked at him and I said, if you lost your every love of mine, why would I walk a freaking away? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, why would I walk away? Why would you even say that? And he's like, I said that because I know your response and I know my wife. You would never walk away. You're committed. You're faithful. You're here. We got to remember the why. What are we doing? He's like, who's trying to rattle an emotion of me of like, what are you doing? Like, if you lost your mind. And so in that moment, that low, I had to make a decision. And I had to say, I can either keep doing what I'm doing that's clearly not working. I'm not building, I'm not retaining, I'm not duplicating, we're not promoting, we're not doing anything, right? Or I can get really uncomfortable and I can become a student at this and I can look to wise mentors and I can put my blinders on because I'm looking over here at her and I'm looking over here at them and I'm looking up at this page and I can just say, get back to the basic activity and let's narrow down the wins because I was looking at, okay, if I'm at 1503, I've got to get 3000. I've got to get 4500. I'm looking at how far I've got to go. And I was like, nope, 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 nope. What would you do if you're talking to a brand new person? Like, what would you do? And I'm like, okay, I'd post on social media. Okay. How would you post on social media? Okay. I'd be confident. I'd be excited. I'd make it sound like it was fun, for heaven's sake. I don't think I'm acting like it's fun anymore. And so I went and did an audit to my social media. I'm like, truly, how many times have I talked about the products, talked about the business, talked about things that made this look contagious and that people wanted to come to? And I took a good scroll and I'm like, no, I was in this lazy marriage season that was not prioritizing any bit of it. I was in this expecting season of, well, duh, it'll just come back. Well, duh, my runners will come back. Well, duh, my emerald will finally get back up. Well, duh, that ruby will finally do. It'll happen. We'll get a new product. We'll get a wave. They'll change something, right? And I'm like, no, you can't wait on the product, the convention, the season. I know you've seen those graphics and memes about health that are like, start on the random Wednesday, on a Tuesday. You don't need to start on a Monday. Start now, not at New Year. And that's truly the way that I felt. I'm like, I have to start right now. Not on Monday, not when I rearrange, not when no, right now. Back to basic activity. I said, okay, so let's narrow down the goal because I think I've just got it so wide that I can't focus on the success that I do have and the wins that are there. And maybe that's you right now. And so I gave myself a goal in that moment, in this crying moment at the kitchen table. And I said, I've got to go silver. And I remember telling my husband, I don't even think I know how to go silver. That's how low I was feeling. I'm like, I don't even know if I can go get 3 VIPs right now in this current month. Like, okay, like that's what I have to start with. Okay, well, how do you get a new VIP? Okay, I gotta reach out. I've got to talk. I've got to post. Okay, I got to go back. Okay, right. I had to narrow it down. It's like the why. I asked why 4 times deep, 6 times deep. I had to go, okay, then what? And then what? And then what? Because oftentimes we're going, okay, I got to re-rank Ruby. I got to get back to Sapphire. I got to go to senior, whatever it is. I'm at senior Ruby. Okay, I've got to get, and we're like, I got to grow by 380 points to even get back to even. And we're looking at this massive gain, truly. And I think it truly just haunts us and robs us of all this wonderful that can happen in our business if we sit there and go, this is what I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to get 3 new VIPs and I'm going silver. Yes, me, the fallen ruby. Yes, me, the fallen gold. Yes, me, the fallen diamond. I'm going silver. And I'm going to be so freaking proud of that. And if I need to buy myself a little silver inspo gift, I'm going to buy it. Buy yourself the new hydro jug. Woo, she went silver. That's fantastic. If you need to shout yourself out on your team, do so. And I did exactly that. I don't have an upline that's shouting me out ever. It's always me. I shout myself out. I'm like, hey, here I am, proud of me. And I still do that today, 11 years in, and I'm here for it. I'm like, stand in your confidence. Here we go. Like, I don't need nobody. I'm not waiting on nobody, right? So I remember that. I'm going to post my picture and I'm going to say, I decided today to start differently, or last week to start differently. And I gave myself a goal, and y'all, I'm so proud that I'm here. I'm celebrating myself. What are you proud of today? And I just cycled that back and I'm like, what's the next goal? Grow by 50, right? Because in our comp plan, it's senior silver. Okay, how do I grow by 50? But I want to do it different this time. I'm not just going to go get customers and I'm just going to get anybody. No, Jill, we're going to work on retention and duplication, okay? Because that's what builds a foundation. And I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to help someone go silver. I know how to go silver now. I added my 3. Okay, I'm going to go help someone get their 3. And she may not get 3, but she's going to get 1. And dang it, I love that. Because what we focus on for so long is like, she got 1, not good enough. If you were in the old comp plan days, I don't know if y'all remember, we didn't get points all the way for 100 PV. And we were like, oh, you have 47 PV. You're dead to me. Like, you're done. 99 PV, sucker. Like, never talking to you ever again. And I know that sounds horrible. We weren't that bad. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? And so we tend to be like, oh, she didn't sign 3, but she signed 1, y'all. Truly. We should be celebrating the bejesus out of that, because what we celebrate, we see more of. I mean, it's the whole, bring it back to pre-K, give compliments. You want more hugs, give more hugs. You want to be invited somewhere, invite somebody. Same thing. You want people to start shouting out, you start shouting out. You want people to start posting, start talking about posting. My team could quote this. They're like, there Jill goes with her thing. If you want it to be a thing, you got to talk about the thing. You got to show up for the thing. You got to make it a thing. It's going to be our thing. Okay, so what do you want your thing to be? Because what we tend to do is not talk about the thing, not show up for the thing, not plug into the thing. And we're like, where's the thing? You're not the thing. You're not even saying that there is a thing. So it's driving it to it. Okay, what do I want? Right? What am I trying to see out of my team? What do I want to celebrate? Where's the growth? What do I want? Right? It's like, what's that movie? The Notebook. She's like, what do you want? She's like, I don't know. It's the whole thing. Anyways, you're like, Lord help this Southern girl. But a couple things that I see in my team, if you're note taking, a couple things that I see in my team that blocks growth. These are 3 things that I see that truly blocks growth. One of the ones is waiting on momentum or excitement. Motivation, just waiting on something that's going to be like, ooh, we just need a free reset. We just need a free hydrate. We just need free shipping. We need this new crazy. I'll just wait till convention. I heard there's this new product coming. We need a new thing. We need a something. We need a sparkle. Well, maybe she'll come back, or maybe somebody will just bring in 10 people. We're waiting on this momentum, when truth, we have to go create our own momentum. How do you create your own momentum? Let's peel it back. It's you going to get 3. It's you shouting yourself out or telling your upline, y'all locking arms together, you shouting out somebody for posting, you doing a 3-day walking sips and sees, you doing a this, you doing a that, you having something at your house, you doing a sip and sample event, you inviting people over to a messenger thread and talking about gut health right now and throwing in the hydrate and what's going on. It's just going, I'm just done waiting on them to host it, for this to be easier, for Plexus to produce this, for Cassie and Kyle to do this, for somebody to do that. When the team decides that we'll do together, I'll play a part. No, go do. Go do. You don't need anybody's permission to go do, ever, ever, ever. The best thing in the entire world as an upline, if you have a team, you know this, is when you like log on to something and you're like, she's doing a walking challenge and made graphics and she didn't even ask for my help. And if you're butthurt on that, we need to grow on that, because I will tell you that is the best feeling in the entire world, when somebody just does without you knowing the do. And you're like, I've arrived. Well, looky there. It's like all of a sudden your kid just went to the bathroom and pooped and wiped their butt. And you're like, you're good. We're good. Nobody had to tell me. Okay. Sounds good, right? You know what I'm talking about there. You're like, oh, you didn't ask for my help, right? I don't want you to have that. Well, they didn't ask me, and so I'm not included. And they probably thought that that to the garbage can. If you want to be a good leader in that, we gotta be like, I don't care what she's doing, but she's doing something, and she's excited about it, and we're just gonna love it, and that's so exciting, woo, right? And we can coach and fine tune and guide along the way, but we just need to go and do. So we're often waiting for this momentum when we need to create our own momentum. And we've got to just like, I'm telling y'all, it's that anger passion. We're like, no, you don't hear me. I'm going to grow my business by 50 points through hell or high water. I'm making the chart. I'm doing the checklist. I'm writing the customer's name and the potential. I'm doing it. I'm talking to every single person possible about a +1 and who do you know? And I'm having those conversations that make me want to just puke, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to make this a thing. And for it to be a thing, I've got to do things that I haven't been doing, because what got you here was everything you did before. But what got you here is not going to get you there. It's not, right? And women know exactly, and Kyle probably can relate to this at some point in his male life. My husband talks about it now, like testosterone and your belly looks different and this and that and all the things. And so anyways, women, I can speak to the women, right? We're like, okay, when I was in high school, I ate a bag of chips and a Diet Coke and I wore a 00. That doesn't work today, ladies. Like it just doesn't. We know that. You're like, oh, when I was 25, we can't have the diet and nutrition we did when we were 25. Like, I don't know about y'all, but my body's not reacting to that. Is y'all's? Because mine's not. Okay, I'm not the only one. Right? You get to these seasons and you're like, well, what was working then, it's not gonna work now. You are different. You've evolved. Our content's evolved. Our products evolved. Social media has evolved. And so you're like, well, I was just adding customers. Okay, that's not going to get you to re-rank Ruby, to grow a branched Emerald team with solid foundation. It's not. It's not going to get us back to that. If it does, it's going to fall quickly because you're going to rebuild by just, right? And I say it to my team often, we need to slow down to speed up. We're often just going and going and going, but we got to slow down and really fine tune and learn that and really understand the process and the rhythm and the discipline and become a master at it. So when somebody does join you and say, I'm ready to work this business, you're not like, here's posting, you're hodgepodge and going fast. You're like, no, hey, we're going to get on the phone and we're going to talk about that. And you're sitting right there on that step till it happens. And then you give them, here's an example for a layout for a sip and see that we're going to have. And here's a couple posts. All right, that's what we're doing this week. And we're sitting on that step, sitting on the step. But what we tend to do is we're like, here's the post and here's the layout and get plugged in. I'll add you that chat and we'll get to that and we'll go to that. And oh my God, da, 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 da. And they're like, ooh, right? Slow down, learn that skill, love on them, build that relationship, fine tune that, right? So it can grow and pluck the weeds that need to be plucked. And we tender and love and water and all the things, right? And then we're like, wow, that was really great. And then along the way, you're like, that worked well. I'm going to write that down. That's called a system, if you didn't know, okay? It doesn't have to be this beautiful Canva thing that you see. I'm not, them people do, and all these things. And you're like, I'm going to tell you what, the girl that's making the prettiest thing ain't got the thrive in this business. Oh, yeah. Okay. We ready for that? Okay. Why? Because she's spending too much time on the pretty and the sparkle. And it's my mom. Think about Jill's mom. She's shuffling the papers around. Okay. Okay. If we put this paper plates over here and the silver over here. Okay. I'm looking busy at the party. No, you're not. You're just making me have anxiety. Okay. Like, let's just, okay, reel it in. If you're spending all the time on the graphic and all the time on the group and all the time, you're just looking busy because you want somebody to tell you good job. Oh, does that hurt? Yeah, I know, because I had to overcome that myself. And I'm like, dang, that's so true. Right? And when that goes back to like, what's our love language? Is it, right? Words of affirmation. You want somebody to tell you I'm doing a good job, right? Is it those things? And you're like, maybe so, I'm not sure. And then that's where you have to go, I'm going to tell myself I'm doing a good job. Right? And that's where we have to really fine tune that. What am I waiting for? What am I doing? Right? I want to grow my business. I want to grow this because we go back to why. That's why I show up. That's why I get uncomfortable. So let's just put finances out there. You're like, because we are swimming in debt. I know I can use Kyle and Cassie's story on this. We've got the card, the food card. We're swimming in debt. So are you going to go watch season 1 of whatever, or are you going to go put groceries in the flipping cabinet for your children? I can't relate to that. As a mom, I'm like, unplug the freaking TV and throw it to the curb. I don't even know what you're talking about. Why would I not? But we do. But we do because we use our why as our why not all the time. We say, why? I've got kids. But that's our why not. Oh, I've got kids. Why? I'm swimming in debt. And then we use it as our why not. Oh, I'm swimming in debt. Who would want to join me? Why? Right? We use our why as our why not. Do. Second thing that I see my team really struggling with when I'm coaching them for growth, they're looking for one, right? I just need the business builder. I just need the thing. I just need that person. I need somebody to come in, right? I need, how many times have you said, I need a new business builder. I need a thing. Like I need someone to come in who's just that. When really we're skipping so much beautiful that's happening within our team. Because again, we're looking for that person to bring in 10. And that's wonderful when that happens, y'all. Don't get me wrong. But we could also get 10 people to bring in one. And those roots, guys, that's duplication. Instead of just one leg, that's you going spurt, spurt, spurt to the garden, right? Okay, sounds good. So what if you slow down to speed up and you have those intimate conversations with each person and talk about a plus one and getting them to share their referral link? And hey, I don't know, might be fun. You want to get a post up and see who would do it? Hey, I know this sounds wacko crazy. I'm telling you, I know it sounds wacko crazy, but who do you know or like who do you work with that could be your accountability partner to do a reset with you? Because I'm promising you, sis, you are actually going to stick to it when you have a friend that does this with you. Who's going to do it with you? Having those types of bold conversations, not going, let me know and let's see. Because then we fall back, we get lazy, we think, oh, they know what I do. They'll come to me if they're interested. No, they're not. Ain't nobody coming. I'm going to tell you right now, ain't nobody coming. You're going to them. And if somebody comes, woo, praise the Lord, hallelujah, accept the blessing. But they're not coming. Okay. You go and get them. You go and invite them. You go and talk to them about what this is, why you see potential in them. You go and build those connections and relationships. Absolutely. And then another thing that I see my team struggle with when it comes to growth and blocking it is it's overthinking, right? About being like, okay, my graphic has to look like this and my chat needs to be like hers. And oh, she came in and did it like this. So it makes us question the way we did it. Think about that. Let's go back to grade school. It's project day. Everybody comes in with their poster board. You're so proud of your poster board. Your mom even got a trifold. She went to Walmart. Oh my God, you got the one with the little flaps. And you're so excited. And then you walk in and so-and-so's got a freaking 3D thing. And you're like, well, mine sucks. And we were so proud of that. And we stayed up and we did it. And we were just giddy. And then we looked at hers and was like, it's better than mine. We do this in our business too, right? We're grooving, we're posting, we're talking to people, we're adding a VIP, we're showing up, we're doing. And then so-and-so comes in, yay for so-and-so. And she's like, oh my God, y'all, I made this one post and got 7 people and 1 went silver. I just like accidentally sweeped Leaders Retreat. Wow. And you're like, how did she freaking do that? I've been doing this for 4 years and you were so proud. But now it's not good enough. And now you're gun shy. And now you're not going back because you're still thinking, is this for me? I'm not sure. Because we're not holding on to that like anger type of why of like, no, you don't hear me. Get out of my way. Great for you and your tutu, but I'm doing great big things over here. Like I hear me and my trifold. I'm coming in hot. I'm so proud of my stickers. We're doing it. Okay. I love that for you. So great. You dressed up and went in theme, but I'm here. I did this. I'm really good at this and I'm holding on and standing in my confidence. And that's what I'm doing. Right? So what we tend to do also in that not only is compare to others, but we compare to ourselves in another season. We compare to our Plexus business 3 years ago. 5 years ago when it was COVID and everybody wanted to join your business, right? And all of a sudden, now you're comparing to last year when you had a Fast Start Gold come in and she brought in 33 people and oh my God, yeah, but guess what? She lost every single one of them and she didn't stay and she didn't have vision and she didn't have a why and she didn't have grit. She made it to the boat, but didn't even get on the boat because she already quit by the time the boat went away from the dock. And y'all know that that's true because you know people like that. You're like, well, she came in, she did it in a month, but she didn't even end up going on the trip because she already lost it and didn't retain it by the time that the boat left. So why are we comparing ourselves to that girl? Whoa, you know? I would much rather hear from someone's story. I want you to think about it. We're at convention, which is happening in a few weeks. And y'all, I know everything. I have been from top to bottom to the show flow. And you're going to be like, what in the freaking world is going on? Like, it's good stuff. Okay. It's freaking good stuff. I have something sitting right here I can't show you, and I have something sitting right here that I can't show you. Okay. This is good stuff. Hear me now. Okay. And we're sitting there at convention. And all of a sudden, this girl comes out. This is made up part. This is not real. But all of a sudden, this girl comes out and she tells her story about her business. And she's like, like my sister signed me, and all of a sudden I just like posted, and then like people came to me, and then like they started doing that, and they just posted, and then like I don't even know, I'm here and I'm Emerald, and like we just posted. You'd be like, I mean, forgive me, you just freaking posted, huh? Like you didn't lose rank, you didn't lose. Wait, what? Or you have somebody like me come out, not tooting my own horn, but let's just say I'm coming out, and I am coming out. I'm coming out 3 different days, by the way, but I am coming out, and I'm coming out. And I'm like, y'all, I was holding on to my business by a freaking bag of Active, and I'm hollering at my husband, and I'm crying and all this. I've lost all this, and I don't even know how to go silver. And you're like, the diamond didn't even know how to go silver. And then she turned around and rebuilt, and then she did that. And now they got her talking, and she did that. Oh, I can do this. Okay, now she's got dirty laundry. Okay. She ain't all that in a bag of chips. Me neither. Okay. I'd much rather hear from the person who had to dig and grind and do and shovel the shiz and do the things and be like, here I am, dirty and all, and I didn't quit. Than the person who's like, I just like earned leadership training the first month and signed up 37 people, and they got their sister, and then like I was like Ruby. And you're like, they don't even know what freaking Ruby is. Truly, right? And maybe that's you. You don't even know what freaking Ruby is. But I'm serious. I would rather listen to that story all day long. I'm like, oh, she fell down again. Oh my God. And she got back up. Oh my God. I want you to think about, ladies, you've been pregnant. That girl that says like pregnancy was so beautiful and it was wonderful. And you're like, okay, maybe that was you. I love that for you. That was so cool. Okay. And maybe you're like, y'all, breastfeeding is beautiful. Breast is best. And I'm probably offending people. And I'm like, nobody talks about how dark that was. Oh, cool. That was great. That was beautiful for you. Fantastic, right? You relate to the person that's got struggle. We don't relate to the person that's just got glitter. You're like, oh, our marriage was wonderful. And we've just like never fought and been married 20 years. And you're like, I wanted to kill him 7 times, literally murder him. Like I see how women do that in documentaries. That's cool. Yeah, right? And so it makes you feel more relatable. It makes you like, I'm not the crazy one. I'm not alone. Oh, snap. This is hard. Got it. Cool. We're on the same page. So I want you to own that and stand in your confidence. If you are in a season of holding on to your business by a bag of Active, you don't remember anything else tonight, I want you to remember that. If you're holding on to your, like, everything, your livelihood, and you're one call away, like that was it, you absolutely can decide to do it differently. You can slow down to speed up. You can reel it back to the basics. You can create your own momentum. You can decide that today's going to be different. The random Thursday, the whatever. And you can say, oh, yeah, I don't need the magic formula, and I don't need the magic post and the magic message. And we're always looking for the thing. It's like the diet. And they're like, comment macros below and I'll send you my 4-day this. You're like, no, honey, that's been 27 months between her before and after picture, and she didn't tell a soul. Y'all stop falling for that. Like, no, that is not it, right? We all know that. And she's like, I'll send you my 7-day guide to have dessert every night. And you're like, that picture was taken from 2011 and it's comparing to her today. Like, no, I can't. That's how real I am, y'all. I'm like, stop. But anyways, that's what we do with our business. I want you to stand in it, and I want you to own it. And I want you to be proud of your valley and your struggle, because goodness to gracious, it's going to be a testimony on the other end. It is. You're going to be able to holler at somebody and tell them that and be like, y'all, I not only lost senior Ruby, but Ruby, I was barely holding on to senior gold. We went to this convention. I decided something else was different. I turned it around. I started treating it like a business, and I brought sexy back into the game because things were getting lazy. Like things were getting burnt out. And I was in this like seat of it'll just happen. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to just happen. You're not going to fall back into a rank up. You're not going to fall into a business builder. It's not coming down. I think God is woo almighty and he can do all the things. Okay. That business builder is going to flop down when you start working and God's going to honor that work that you're doing. They're not just going to, oh my God, you haven't posted in 7 months and we're all of a sudden just, I want to do this with you. No, it's you showing up and being faithful and him honoring that. And you're not seeing the fruit, but you're still there. You're still digging for the harvest and you're not seeing the fruit. And all of a sudden you're like, we've all said it. Y'all, they just came out of nowhere. No, they didn't. You've been putting in the freaking work in the field. You have been sweating and doing and you're dirty. They didn't just come out of nowhere. They've been, every single post you posted for 7 years has been their belief and foundation builder. Every single message, every single thing you've showed up in your stories, they're watching. They didn't just come out of anywhere. I never even talked to her before she came out of the woodworks. Oh my God. No, she didn't. She's been watching because you've been consistent and you've been building. So if you're in a season right now that is low and there's struggle, sometimes we got to re-fall in love with it. We do. And that's just like relationships. We have to say, what were we doing when I like really, really, really loved you? Like really. Okay. We need to start doing that again. So what were you doing in your business when you really loved it? And this was fun. And you wanted to show up and you wanted to watch the calls and you wanted to engage and you wanted to be in the challenge. You wanted to watch the Diamond Dog and you knew you were going to be at the seats of convention. You just loved it. What were you doing? Remember those things because it's time to get back to that. So I want to encourage you tonight as we kind of leave tonight. I want you to have fun, y'all. I want you to have fun because if you're not having fun, you're not going to go anywhere in this. You're not. You're going to be bitter. You're going to be resentful. And we've all done that in a lot of different areas of our life. And look where that got us, right? You're going to be tired. You're going to be in the red zone. Some of you need to go get a new charger because your little cord is like, you know, I'm talking about, and the little wire is sticking out and you're like, have to jiggle it 7 times. And you're like, hold on, don't turn to the right. And, right. We've had straighteners and curling irons that do that. And you just can't get rid of it. Why don't we just go buy another $49.99? Like, we're like, what are we doing here? You're like, wait, jiggle it to the left, jiggle it to the right. Okay. Just toss it out. It's time to go get a new charger because you keep falling back into and falling back into and falling back into. Get a new charger. Find that why again. Peel back those whys. Fall in love with it again. And I encourage you, talk to someone that is a safe conversation, Kyle or Cassie, and say, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't loved my business in a while. This is where I'm at. This is where you seek wise counsel. This is where you have that mentorship. This is where you lock arms with other, right? Married Christians or women of faith. You know, we do all this. So in your business, you lock arms with somebody who is a safe conversation and wise counsel that can call you out and say, I love you too much for that. And this is what I see in you. What is it? The Mark chapter 2, friends, right? I need somebody to pick me up and put me through the roof, right? I can't get there, but you better drop me down to Jesus, right? I want those kind of friends that are going to just like take my hurt self and we're going to get you there. We're going to carry your mat up to the roof. Same thing here. You need those type of people. And you've got that here in this intimate group. And how wonderful is that to say, this is where I'm at. It's not where I'm staying. And I'm gonna make a move. And this is what I'm doing today. I'm just sharing this with y'all, not for claps, not for high fives or emojis, but I'm letting y'all know this is what I'm gonna do today. And I'm gonna report back and I'm gonna tell you that I did it. Again, not for claps, not for emojis, not for anything, but to say I'm here and I'm showing up because I believe in this. And so every story has a great ending and we're not ended yet, but some of you want to know, you're like, are you still at 1503? Like what's happening? And if I share that story, sometimes I'll talk too fast and log off and then my messages will be like, so where are you at now? Like, what are you doing? I rebuilt in the name of Jesus, rebuilt to, yes, we got back to Sapphire, got back to Diamond, got back to re-entry Diamond, did my re-entry. I built my re-entry to Ruby. I ranked Ruby last month on my re-entry. My Diamond account holds my highest month so far. We're right there, right about 67, 68. So yeah, you can rebuild. And I will tell you, there's like this many people who are still in my team, who were in my team in that low valley. Because either God plucked them They were weeds, and I'm thankful for that. And if you haven't prayed that prayer, oh, it's kind of like praying for patience and all that kind of thing. God, remove the people that need to be removed and that are dragging me down. Remove them. Remove them. It may not make sense to me, but I trust you. If they're not needing to be here and I'm forcing something that doesn't need to be, God, I trust that the right people are coming. And I started praying every day. God, I thank you in advance for kingdom minded women who unapologetically work for their vision and their family that are hungry to be a part of this come into my organization. And I'm so thankful for you. I know that they are coming, and I'm going to get in ready position for them to come in. And I will tell you today, I am blown away by the women on my team who are kingdom minded women who are unapologetically running and working for the vision of their family and are hungry to do so with the gospel in mind. And God has plucked some weeds and ones that I never thought He would. He plucked an emerald, He plucked senior rubies, He plucked rubies, He plucked a lot of golds and senior golds. He plucked a lot of people, but He also promoted a lot of people, and He also grew us, right? Wasn't in my time frame at all, but I'm so thankful for the fall because it humbled me. It made me a better person. It slowed me down to speed me up. It made me a better leader. I have empathy today that I never had before. I have grace today that I never had before. I'm able to relate to people. And because of that, I'm able to sit here and talk to you all today and be real, right? And I wouldn't have been able to do that before. So if you were in that season of fall and struggle, I want you to slow down, right? So that you can speed up. That's all I got for you guys.
I mean, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say, Jill. I mean, I hanging on every word, every single word, and I just appreciate your vulnerability. It's inspiring. It is inspiring. I've heard your story, but every time I hear you, there's some new nugget that I bring up, and I just, it's funny because like you think that, oh, I'm gonna have this amazing person on for my people, and you don't
Mm.
realize like I needed to hear it. Like I needed to hear
Oof,
that. And so
I
thank
feel
you
that all the
so,
time.
so much, not just for taking time away from your family. We appreciate that so much, but just thank you for not churching it up for us tonight.
Yeah.
For being real. Thank you for being authentic. Thank you for being vulnerable because that breeds vulnerability. So, friend, appreciate you. I'll let you get back to what you're doing, but I just don't
Thank y'all.
talk for a second after, but just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm honored. Thank you guys. Y'all come to my neck in the woods in a few weeks. We'll see you in
Absolutely.
Dallas.
All right.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Appreciate
y'all.
it.
Thank you.